I come back to part 3. In this tutorial, we're going to be working on creating the wheel arch, this small segment of the wheel arch, and we're going to create the windshield. And the reason why we're heading this way and the reason why we're heading like that is that the more reference surfaces we have to create the rest of the body, the better. And then you will see what I mean later on in the design. All right, so let's quickly start by making a sketch on the top plane. Let's make a sketch on the top plane, and then just gonna do a actually let's exit here, not the top plane but plane 2. Let's make a sketch on plane 2. And I want to get this line here because, as you can see at the end, this wheel arch, it's going to curve in this small surface, but it's pretty straight here. I'm gonna grab a curve, just gonna get a normal curve here and just bring it from here to here, all the way down here. And then I'm going to add the curvature at the bottom end. And then it should be relatively straight at the top end. So that should be okay. See this sketch? Okay, and the next sketch is going to be first we're going to do the lower section and then the upper section. Let's make this a little bit bigger. So now let's make a sketch on the front plane. I hope I'm not moving too fast. Well, you should be able to follow my mouse. All right, so let's make the end of this surface, the edge of it. So let's do it by grab that curve, and then we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go all the way down here. No, let's just go from here to here. Actually, instead, let's delete that. Okay, so let's go from all the way from, yeah, let's just go from you can see this is a sketch that we had that made. It goes right, so let's just go from here because that's the edge of that's the first sketch we made, and this point actually marks where that surface starts. So it will highlight automatically. So let's start from here all the way to here. And then we're just gonna move these handles into position. And this should be easy. If not, we can always add a second spline point. If we need to. Let's add a second spline point on this one. Let's click back on that. Then we're going to add a control polygon. And that will give us the freedom of movement. Put that in here. Okay, perfect. Happy with that. We can maybe move this a little bit closer to the edge. Again, this blueprint is actually quite good relative to the blueprints that so it's available once you zoom in, but it's still a bit pixelated. Okay, so I'm happy with that. It's pretty good curvature. Let's take off the control polygon and exit the sketch. And this one is going to be a projected curvature. We won't make too much projective curvatures. We're gonna start using scaffolding for all our designs, but really crucial surfaces at the beginning. It's good we have some projected curvatures, something to start from. Alright, so we got our first curvature, which was the lower section. Now let's create the upper section, and let's just come back in here and bring back that sketch again. We can use that for the second one. And now let's make another sketch on the front plane. So motor profile. And we do have the sketch here again. That's just good. And then we're just going to grab another spine. And again, we're just going to kind of visualize where that will start. And then from here to here. And we're just gonna pull it up like that, roughly in position, and we're going to add a control point right in the middle and click off that. I'm gonna click back on that line and add my control polygons. Okay, let's move that curve into position. That's gonna be the upper section. Again, so the blueprint is in the description of part 1. If you just jumping into part 3 for the first time, get into part 1 and the blueprints are there. They are downloadable Google Drive links. If you have problem downloading them, obviously just message me and I will send you another download link if that's not working, but that should be okay. So I'm happy with this curvature as well. Let's move a little bit closer here. Yeah. And I'm gonna click back and remove control polygon and exit the sketch. Okay, and I'm just gonna do the same thing on this one. But I'm gonna project the curvature here and click on that and that. And we have our 2 lines you will be able to see in there once we get over to our second display state. So let's hide this because we don't need it. Okay. And then let's head over to our second display state here. Okay. So in a second display state, we have these 2 edges in the bottom, right? And what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to zoom in and grab a 3D sketch. Place one on this one. And I'm going to pull that all the way to the edge until I see these 2 green check marks. That means is that we have coincident edge relationship with each other. So they clicked onto each points. They locked in, kind of. You can say they locked in. Okay, so let's get this other curvature. Same thing here. Just drop it on these lines. And I'm just going to pull this until I see the green check marks. There you go. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a very minimal amount of curvature on these two lines, just so that it's not in a 0 profile state. It has a plus profile state. Really, it's not going to be visible that much, but once we get over to rendering, actually we're going to be visible. About that much, that's fine. Very minimal, I said. It's fine. Okay, let's hide this one here as well. Okay, and then we're just going to zoom in here to the surfaces. Going to grab a boundary surface, choose the two surfaces, and then we're going to choose the two directions. One of these is one of them is this one, and the second one is gonna be this one. Okay, don't forget to save. All right, so we got that part, that surface there. It has this knife curvature already, and again, we can always add to it or take away from it, but we do have that surface to work from as well. So the next surface we're going to create is going to be the windshield, and like I said before, on this one, we're gonna start using the scaffolding. Okay, it's a much better way. All right, so the first sketch I'm going to make here is I'm going to make that on the top plane. And I want to drop a point, just a normal 2D point on this normal sketch onto this edge here, following that edge. And then I'm going to grab a center line from that point. Actually, no, because you need to exit from the 2D sketch. Right? I'm going to grab a 3D sketch, center line, and then click on that point and just bring it up in the Y and X axis. All right. Now click on this plane, so in here, and drop our 3D point on here, this edge here. Okay, and then I'm going to exit the sketch and bring that scaffold a bit lower. That's fine. Okay, and we're going to build the other scaffolding again on the top plane. And the second one is going to be another point, and we're gonna drop that point on this edge here, the middle. Okay, and then we exit the sketch because it's just a 2D sketch, and grab a 3D center line. Click on that point that we just made, and then bring up that scaffold. Okay, so now that we have that, right, just gonna click on that and grab another 3D point, and we're gonna drop it. I think it's gonna be somewhere here, right? And we're just looking from the front to make sure that we place the point in the right area. So we can move this up or down. Oh. Okay, so I want to grab that point. Oh. Delete the point and place it somewhere here. And that is on the line. All right. So once I have that, I'm gonna exit the sketch, and I'm gonna grab a 3D sketch, 3D spline. I'm just going to connect these 2 points here. To bring up this box, you need to press spacebar. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pull these lines into that curvature, the edge of that edge. Of course, I'm going to make this handlebar fixed along the z-axis, because when I mirror over the windshield, the other one, I'm gonna have a nice smooth transition between the two. Okay, so that looks kind of on the edge. Actually looks okay. Can pull that a little bit more in. Yeah, it looks a lot better. Okay, and then we're just gonna check everything from this angle. Can bring it up just a little bit. And again, clicking on the plane and press normal to profile is will snap you into the right view. Looks really good from the top. Let's check one more time from the that looked good in the front, but let's look at from the top again. Looks good from the top. I'm pretty happy with this curvature here. Exit this sketch. All right, so the next scaffolding we want is on here, because obviously we can't see the point from the side of from the wheel arch, right? If you can say that, but you'll see what I mean. Let's make another sketch on the top plane here. And again, it's just going to be a point. I'm going to drop the point somewhere here, because that's where the windshield ends in this surface area. And we're just going to bring up that 3D scaffolding. Sketch, of course, for the center line. Okay, and you want to make sure that your scaffolding are straight. It will snap into the straight if you just move it Okay, so now that we got that scaffolding, now we can determine the front of the scaffolding, and we need to just hide this one here. So we want to make sure that we don't snap onto a wrong scaffolding here. Okay, so obviously that starting point is just drops just a little bit below the surface, and as you can see, this wheel arch is hiding that. It's quite deep in. So let's grab that 3D point, 3D sketch, 3D point, and we're just gonna drop it somewhere here. All right, that looks good. And then we're just gonna grab our spline and connect this to a point. It's going to add our curvature. Again, we can adjust this later as well if you're not happy about it. And and just move this down a little bit just to get the curvature right. Okay, that's good. Exit the sketch. Okay, so the next one, we need the next scaffolding point. It's gonna be the one. It's gonna be the one down here. So we're gonna make another sketch on this top plane. And we're gonna add a point somewhere here. Exit this sketch here, and we're just gonna bring up another. We're gonna bring up another 3D center line from that point. And then just gonna click on here, press normal to profile, and then we're going to add a point on here, a 3D point. So as you can see, working with scaffolding is a lot more comprehensive, and you can get much better surfaces than the projected curve. Projected curvature is really, you got two lines and you're kind of hoping that you're gonna get good curvature and the right curvature, but that's not always the case. So let's exit this sketch. Okay, and the first one we're going to do is grab another 3D sketch and connect this point with this point. And then we just move this into position. Again, I want to add a collision on that bar, so I'm going to fix that on the z-axis, and it falls right into place, as you can see. And I'm happy with that curvature. I'm gonna look at from the front just to be sure. And we have a nice curvature downwards as well. Okay, and of course the last curvature we're going to add this windshield. It's this one here. 3D sketch, spline, connect. We're just going to connect this point. Connect with this one. Okay, and then we're going to add a nice curvature profile on that spline as well. You can always come back and edit these curvatures if you're not happy with the shape of the window, the glass. Okay, see that? And now, so at the moment, I'm using my 3D Koenigsegg mouse, 3D mouse. It's a very good mouse. Anyway, still need to practice with that. Anyways, let's head over to a second display state. And then here we can see our surface. So what we are going to do is jump over the surfaces and grab the boundary surface and connect these 2 points here, two surfaces. Let's do that one more time. Let's select this line and this line. Yeah. And then put direction 2, first one. And a second one. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we're just going to save it. Then we're just going to mirror this over to the other side just to see how it looks. And we're going to check the transition of the two windshields as well. So for the base plane, use the front plane and bodies to mirrors. And then we're just gonna take off the lines and just use shaded edges. I'm just gonna hide the front plane for now, just to see how we are with that surface. So we can see that we have a very nice smooth transition throughout on that. Alright, I hope you've been able to follow me. If you just checked into the third for the first time and into the third part, follow me from the part 1 and don't forget to subscribe. Also, drawing is in the description. Alright, thanks very much. Bye.